Why is email marketing important? Well, email marketing is really a low-cost opportunity for us as marketers to build brand awareness. So we could nurture this relationship. So we start a relationship off by saying, hey, I'm Professor Ken, nice to meet you. Let me have your email address so I can connect with you better, right? And then once you get that email address, you have to sort of warm them up to who you are. Send them information that could be useful. We're nurturing that relationship. Remember, this is just like any relationship that we have. You start off with a hello, how are you? My name is, and then you build the relationship up. Any type of relationship, romantic relationship, professional relationship, you have to build it up. Now, we use email marketing to not only build the relationship, but we also generate leads and new opportunities. And we want to use email marketing to motivate customers to take action that will benefit us as a business. So most likely we want you to click here or go here or buy this or see that. And that's what we use email marketing for. I can tell you that email marketing is a great tool to stay engaged with our customers. And during COVID, the email marketing tactics that we use, strategy that we use was very valuable because we had no way of getting new customers to us unless we were advertising or promoting, and customers would need to know that we're online and we can service them. So that's where email marketing comes in handy. And it's low cost. Once you have it, you just got to manage it and then go from there. Okay, so what are the basic benefits of email? Why email? Well, customer retention. We all buy something. Each one of us buys something. So we understand as a consumer, we want to build that relationship. So we expect your business to send us an email. Now, there's also customer acquisition. We could capture new emails, or we can ask for new email addresses by offering some type of promo or some way of acquiring a customer. Of course, we can get customer data because now we know who that customer is, and maybe we can get additional data like birthdays and things of that nature, which will be great. And then we also have a lead generation tool where we can now build leads and create more opportunity for us to go from one path to another. And of course, we're building brand awareness because every time you get an email with Professor Ken on it, you say, oh, here's Professor Ken. He has a great digital marketing course. I'm not interested in opening the email now, but at least you see the name and awareness strikes you again. And then, of course, promotions, right? We use emails to go out there and say, hey, you can get a special deal on a digital marketing course offered by Professor Ken for $19.99 if you sign up by 12 p.m. tonight, that type of thing. So that's why email is really important, because we can do so many great things to help us build that relationship. And again, all at a low cost to us. So some things to keep in mind with email marketing is that it's a very low cost. So it doesn't really cost us anything to get an email address unless we offer something for it, right? Like $10 off this particular product, give us your email address or 10% discount, something along those lines. Normally, that's what we have to do to get an email address. So low cost. But the best part of that is that you make that one purchase, but you get that back on the second, third, or fourth purchase. And now you can start building that relationship. Without that email, you can't build that relationship. So it's easy to measure because we use marketing tools like MailChimp and things of that nature, that what we call ESPs, email service providers, that create all these reports for us so we can measure it easily, see who opens it, see who clicks, so forth and so on. We have a high return on investment because we do have low cost, and we can reach all kinds of customers, as far reaching in terms of customer base. And we get up-to-the-minute real-time email information and personalization. So we can actually personalize that email to your name and use different approaches every time we send out an email. So now there's a couple of different types of emails. There's the transactional emails that happen when you make a purchase and it says, congratulations, or thank you for your purchase. You get that. And then there's commercial emails, which are the marketing emails. Hey, Professor Ken, check out this new promotion or this new product, and you get them as well. So the benefits of email are superior to just about everything we have in our warehouse, because once we get that email name and we build that relationship, we can build that customer up to buy more from us. So what do we need to understand then when we create an email campaign? Because an email campaign could take some time. If you use a template or if you use an ESP, an email service provider, they provide all the templates for you. You drag and drop your images in, that type of thing, your content in. But remember that we have to plan and stage and launch these emails. So we need to understand what that particular campaign is all about. We should have a goal in mind, whether it's a weekly sale or a newsletter or something like that. So let's determine those objectives for that email. And we could probably come up with some metrics, because nowadays we could measure that commercial success of that email if they click through and buy something. We want to check that revenue. So let's go ahead and segment and manage the list, because that's important. So we segment and manage the list based on the target audience we want to provide that information to, and then we design the email campaign based on that segmentation. So we want to then create it and launch the email. And then we want to measure that email. Now, before we send out that email to everyone, we want to maybe do two things. We could test the email, make sure we go through the email carefully to test it. And we probably want to A/B split that particular email subject line or subject information or photos or whatever it may be. And we would do that with a small group of the list. In fact, the ESPs could provide you with that A/B split program that you can set up. And then you want to send out the email to everyone else, to the one which, using the A/B split, the email that's most successful. So now you get better results because you're using a stronger email. And now we measure those results to optimize the next campaign to see how we can do a little better. And that's the idea here. So we want to be able to create the campaign, maybe get our goals, understand our target, understand our segmentation, understand our messaging, maybe test those emails out before we send them all out, then use the one that's successful, and then go back and measure that campaign to see how we can make the next one even better. Let's think about the email marketing in terms of the consumer journey. If we know that the consumer journey includes several stages, we know it starts at what we call the top of the funnel, which is also known as tofu, right? Which is generally awareness and slides into consideration a little bit. Moves to the middle of the funnel, which is consideration, conversion, and maybe in some cases it could be retention, although retention normally is closer to the bottom of that particular funnel. And then we have retention and brand championship at that bottom of the funnel. So we have the stages and we understand where the consumer is in their journey. We want to build that relationship as soon as we can. So we want to build that relationship as soon as we can. So at the awareness stage, we want to begin saying, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Professor Ken. Here's what I do. How can I solve your problem? Or here's how I can solve your problem. So generally speaking, that first stage is someone who's new to your brand or new to your service, and you want to get to know them. You want to explain the benefits of what you do so they can understand what's in it for them. How do you solve their problem? You don't want to sell them too hard here. You just want to give them information to begin that relationship. Remember, you're not asking someone to marry you on your first date. So you have to nurture this relationship a little bit. Now, in the next stage, which we start considering things, now they want to get to know you a little more. They're interested in what you have to do and what you have to say. So here's a time to encourage more investigation of your product and service. Maybe send them more things to consider, videos and reviews and things of that nature, so they can get to know you a little more. And then you move them into a deeper consideration and conversion. This is where you want them to click the buy. So normally that's some type of offer you're sending them. You're sending them some type of offer that says, hey, buy me now, get 20% off, or buy me within 36 hours and get 100% off. Whatever the deal is, you want to send that out. So now you're getting that conversion. Now you get the sale. Now you move into that next stage, which is retention. So now the next email is different because you want to tell them, hey, thanks for buying that product the first time. Here's a discount, or here's some more information you need to know about us and understand who we are, and get to know us a little more. And by the way, if you want to make a purchase, here's another discount, right? Give them an incentive to come back and buy again. And then maybe you track that, the second, third, fourth purchases. And now they move into brand champion. Now you build this relationship already. So now what you want to do is send them relationship type emails saying, hey, thanks for being such a loyal customer. Here's what I'd like to know from you. How are we doing? You can ask surveys and questions, or join this VIP club. We'll give you a special deal, something along those lines. So we have to think about our email marketing as the consumers move through that journey and move through the funnel. And at each stage of the funnel, each stage of the journey, our messaging is a little different. So let's talk about now the nurture and build process. Remember, our goal here is to get a customer to the customer lifetime value. That's our target. So if we know we want a customer to buy one time and eventually get them to buy time and time again and to create customer lifetime value, they're going through this journey. We see that because we're tracking them based on the purchases that they make. Now, let's take a look at what can happen here. So let's say we have a prospect, someone who hasn't bought before. They get the first email, and now they start to know us, and they move along that consumer journey. They move into consideration, and then they make a purchase. They become a new customer. Okay, now we have to send them an email. We have to keep them engaged. So what could happen? Well, if we keep them engaged, they could become a repeat customer. That's the retention, and that's the nurturing path. That's the path, the positive path we want to keep them on. Now, something else could happen. They could maybe not buy again. If they don't buy again, if they only buy one time, then we might designate that as a risk customer, an at-risk customer, meaning, well, they haven't bought from us in a long time. So if we don't get them to make another purchase, we could lose them. So maybe you send them a special deal, special offer. Hey, you haven't made a purchase in 6 weeks, 6 months, and 1 year, whatever it is. Hey, come back to us now and we'll give you 15% off. And then maybe you could file them back into the new customer or repeat customer. Now, even if you have repeat customers, you can always have someone stop buying from you, even if they bought 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, and they become either a lost customer or a at-risk customer at that point. Now, if it's a lost customer, meaning you're never going to get that business back, you tried to market to them and they just fall off, there's nothing really you could do about that. Now, you may be able to separate them and come back at a later date and say, hey, here's something new about Professor Ken's digital marketing course. Check us out. We've changed. You might like us, something like that. And maybe that customer comes back into the nurturing pipeline and you can grow that business again. Once we get them to make several purchases, now we're moving towards that loyal customer, that brand advocacy, and eventually we get that customer lifetime value. And now we can set the email flow up so we're sending them emails monthly, weekly, on anniversary dates, special occasions, things like that, because now they're engaged with us. We've built that relationship, and we could maximize that relationship by sending them targeted email programs. So let's break down some core email marketing principles we should understand. The first one is segmentation. We have to segment that list that we have, whether it's 100 names or 1,000 names or 50,000 names, because segmentation will allow us to get targeted messages out there. It helps us to organize our list so that we can send out an email to someone that likes red sneakers versus someone that likes blue sneakers. We want to be targeted there. Maybe we can send them both emails that, hey, if you like sneakers any color, here's the general email, but we can also segment them out. And the goal here is to create relevant emails and relevant content to that segmentation list. The next thing we should work on is personalization. How can we make that email more personalized? So here's where we get the one-on-one engagement. So maybe we know someone's anniversary, we know someone's birthday, maybe we know that they always buy blue sneakers with black laces, okay? And we can send them an email specifically to that particular product that they buy. That's where we're at right now. We're getting smarter in that. So we can personalize that email based on their interest. Then there's the automation. Automation has to happen once a transaction occurs. So it has to be automated. So this allows the companies to send out emails automatically. So not only the transactional emails, but maybe across the journey. Maybe if you make 3 purchases, you get an automatic email or something like that that tells you. So this allows us to save time, money, and energy in creating emails, because once that email is made one time, it can go out on a regular basis. The next thing we have to do is that data analysis. We do have to measure everything we send out. So when we send out this email, let's make sure we're understanding how that email performs and improve it every single time. That's one of our goals. So we may see a good spot up here. We're getting a lot of clicks here, but we're getting no clicks down there. Well, let's change the email up a little bit so we can get improvement. That'll be key. So 4 basic email marketing principles are segmentation, personalization, automation, and data analysis. So now that we talked about segmentation, we talked about breaking emails down using ESPs, let's decide how we could create campaigns to send emails out. So we create what we call drip campaigns, and it gets its name from a water faucet dripping, drip, 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 drip. Why? Because we're sending out email, and as consumers, we probably get those already. You have to do it strategically, you have to do it tactfully. So you have to make sure that you're using a strategy around that. So here's some ideas that you can use to strategically create these drip campaigns. Well, the first one is nurturing. You want to welcome someone, you want to onboard someone, you want to even send out emails on abandoned shopping carts. The next one are recommendation emails. So product recommendations, maybe because you bought X, check out Y type of purchase, right? That type of thing. Let's suggest things that they might like, recommend based on your purchasing carts. We're starting to see a lot of those emails now because our email programs are getting smarter, so we can see some of that. What about renewal emails? Hey, you have to renew your subscription, or it's time for you to update your list or update your profile. Things like that are important because we have to keep our email list fresh, and this helps us do that. Then we have confirmation emails. So we're confirming and encouraging our email users to look into buying something. We're confirming whether or not they like something. So we're sending them more of a confirmation of that. We have something called unsubscribe emails, where you want to re-engage the user if they maybe unsubscribed. So we can send out emails there. And then What about celebration emails? I love sending out celebration emails, anniversaries, birthdays, congratulations, you're a loyal customer, things like that. So we can use automated processes to do this, and we can use manual processes to do this. Now, the difference between manual and automated processes are automated is automatically done in the system. Manual means you might have to set it up and hit send, right? And you can send to all your lists. You can do that through an email service provider. Now let's talk about email metrics. What do we need to measure? We know we need to measure stuff. So what is it that we have to measure? Well, we have to measure CTR, click-through rate. So we want to look at the percentage of click-throughs that we get. We want to look at open rate. How many people are opening up our email? We want to look at unique open rates, which is for the first time they're opening up uniquely. Okay, so you have to look at that number because someone could open up the email 5 times. That counts as an open rate, but a unique open rate is something a little different. And we want to look at our delivery rate. How are we delivering? The percentage of emails that are successfully sent. And we also want to see our bounce rate, how many emails are bouncing back, and our unsubscribe rate, how many emails are getting unsubscribed from. Now, we should manage the bounce rates and the unsubscribe rate. So there's something called a soft bounce and a hard bounce. A soft bounce means the email goes out and it's just out there in cyberspace. It can't find the email address or something like that. And it's a soft bounce. It just can't find the location for whatever reason. A hard bounce, it goes out and it doesn't exist. They can't find the email, it doesn't exist, and that's a hard bounce. So what happens is on soft bounces, normally you get 2 or maybe 3 soft bounces on any email before it gets unsubscribed automatically. With hard bounces, once we get a hard bounce, the software, the program that we use, the ESP that we use, will automatically unsubscribe it. So now we have to manage our unsubscribes. We shouldn't have more than 2% unsubscribe rates on any given day because if we do, then there's something wrong with our list. It's not what we call a clean list. Now, remember, we have to always keep more people coming in to subscribe, new users coming in, because we know we have users unsubscribing as well. So these are the key metrics we have to measure: CTR, click-through rate, open rate, unique open rate, delivery rate, bounce rate, and unsubscribe rate.